back. This is John.
Hey, it's Paul.
And it's Eric.
And this is What If Geeks. And this episode is the one you never knew you wanted. Actually, this one that at least two of the three of us didn't want to do. And one guilty asshole who's talking convinced them to do it. Had a handful of my friends ask us after we did the... Well, all right, hindsight. After we did the Room review and the Disaster Artist review episode, it was one of my favorite moments in this podcast. So I told these guys I wanted to do more bad movie reviews because just the three of us picking apart something is fun to me. So I specifically wanted to do one for Halloween, horror movie type of thing, and then another one for Christmas, and then a few more throughout the year. We can just kind of like spread them out so I don't like kill you guys and destroy this podcast just doing bad movies. I mean, that's the thing in and of itself. We can have a lot of fun with that. But I really wanted to do more of these. And a friend of mine and then multiple friends of mine kept, like when I was building a list of movies to do, they kept pulling out this one movie. And finally I showed these guys the trailer and they were like, yeah, it's got to be this movie that we're going to tear apart. So the for those of you who actually listened to the podcast, didn't know this was coming, and I hope you enjoy it. The movie that we're about to review is from, 2010? It's Birdemic, Shock and Terror. So, a What If Geeks review.
Right.
So, a brief rundown of this movie. I don't know quite how to... All right, here. Director, James Nguyen? Sure.
I think it's Nguyen.
Nguyen? Sure. Bless me. And the two main stars are Alan Bag. And he's a bag. And Whitney Moore. We'll get back to the two of them, well, all three of them later. The best thing I can say about this movie is I told both of them before they showed them the trailer, this is like if you picture Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, but it was recorded by our 7-year-olds. And
right.
Was I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
And it is legitimately based, at least in part, on The Birds.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you knew this, but there's a cameo in there from...
Tippi Hedren.
Yeah, Tippi Hedren, thanks.
Yes.
In The Birds.
Yeah.
Of course, she's much older in the Birdemic. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So
So I guess the way I describe it is a no-budget eco-horror cautionary tale about global warming.
Yeah, and you don't get that right away.
Yeah.
Because it just you're watching it thinking it's just a really bad horror movie.
No, I wouldn't even go that far. Because it takes 45 minutes to get to...
47 to be precise.
47 minutes. Okay, I didn't time it.
A bird.
Yeah, to get to the...
a bird attack.
Let's make sure we spend some good time on that. But... yeah, I mean, it does. This whole front half of the movie is it's utterly pointless for the plot.
Right.
It doesn't offer anything to character development because they don't know how to do it.
It's meant to be character development.
I know
that's the key. You can see what they were going for, and you can see where they didn't know how to do it at all. Period.
I'm not even sure they understand how businesses work or anything else.
No, I've got that in
here
too.
Yeah.
Like, this is how shit does not work.
None of it.
Ludicrous. But all right, should we start at the beginning though?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I run through my brief timeline of the opening?
Well, let's just start right at the beginning.
Yeah. All right. So I wrote down the timeline to this thing. All right. So it opens up once it gets through the initial production company or whatever, right? Those two title cards or whatever. It opens up on a Mustang driving along a road, and it turns into multiple roads, right?
Incredibly
That's 27
slowly,
seconds.
too, right?
Right.
27 seconds.
No, yeah.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's taking a sweet time, it's drawn out, and what you'll get in this movie throughout is panning shots, long panning shots, just kind of like supposedly take in the scenery, but you're not taking anything in. You're just like, why the fuck are you still on this one shot? So they're doing this thing. It's 27 seconds. It starts with the Mustang. And then I've got written down here, a minute. We're still driving. A minute 45. Yeah. 2 minutes 45 seconds.
They do
Is
switch.
this trip fucking necessary?
They do switch the camera angle
They
at
do.
some point.
It goes inside next to
and then
him.
it goes
Yeah.
inside, and then the bottom quarter of the screen is blocked by the dash.
Right. Yeah. yes. Thank you for that. And 3:15. Guess what? Yep, we're still driving. I'm pretty sure he's fucking lost. And then finally, at 4 minutes and 9 seconds, this asshole finally parks.
Yeah.
Okay. So right away, I've already figured out how to shave 3:30 off of this timeline. Okay.
Right, there's seriously like a dozen actors. Like, why the fuck does the opening credits take over 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Why is that even necessary?
Yeah, for this long, windy, and because it's shot not steady, it's like it's a handheld, what looks like a VHS camera,
Yeah.
sitting in the passenger
It's
seat.
like found footage for a road trip.
So I had to take a work trip a couple months ago to this little Caribbean island, and they drive on what for us is the wrong side of the road, right? So they're driving on the left, and I'm sitting in this bus, and everything's windy, and I'm freaking out, and so I take my phone and I hold it up to the bus windshield as we're driving to show friends and my wife like how in danger I thought I was. It felt like that. Like it's just like it's not steady, so every bump in the road or thing, the camera moves and it's unsteady, and you're like, if you're prone to car sickness, like you might barf in that first 4 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it would make Heather sick easily.
And him driving becomes something of a theme. I feel like they do it a few times.
Oh yeah,
in
it's
the
going to come
movie.
along. Now, what did you say earlier about the music?
Oh yeah, the song is the same, like 60 seconds on repeat.
On a loop, yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and it's like stock. Like you have stock footage, stock pictures. It's like stock music.
Yeah.
It's YouTube free audio. Is what it is, and they just found some shit and said, "Okay, this will work for."
Yeah.
What the director said? What says car ride? Okay, this, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
So now we've got that.
So Paul and I watched the riff track for this.
Yeah.
And they also comment on that music, and they say they do something like, "Hey, we'd like to get a song
Right,
for our
right.
5-minute intro," and they're like, "It's going to cost how much?" Okay, what if we just did 60 seconds and play it on repeat?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
deal.
That's exactly.
So we I watched it all the way through, and then I went back and I watched the riff track today.
I didn't even think to watch the riff track.
And riff track is the guys from Mystery Science Theater 3000. And so one of the things they do is they're like, hey, how about an establishing shot from overhead, just showing the car drive by, and they're like, it costs how much? How about we just film it from inside the car?
Yeah, that's this entire fucking movie.
Yeah.
So then you go on, like now that he's parked, right? He's walking to a diner.
And
Paul, help me out here.
so like
He's walking on a sidewalk.
yeah,
You see him walk to the sidewalk.
He actually has
Sidewalk
an
was
incredibly awkward walk too. I
He
don't
does.
know what the fuck is going on.
He's holding
but-
in a shit. Or
Yeah,
he's got a
something.
hemorrhoid. One or the other.
it's like everybody was told, just act normal. And
And
then
he
like
couldn't
act
do
like
it.
you're acting normal, right?
Yeah.
And so like when you tell someone to act normal, suddenly you're aware of like where your hands are and
Yes.
where you are in
Yes.
space. And he was super worried about that all the time.
That was
Yeah.
him.
And
Yeah.
and so when he walked, like he parks across the street from the diner, so it takes him like a minute to get into the diner, and you're just
And
watching
you
him
see
walk,
him
and you're
walk
like,
to the sidewalk, and it's
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
I want to emphasize that for the next part.
yeah,
When it closes in on this idiot.
yeah, it's a sidewalk full of people.
There's a sidewalk full of people and
and
the
then
sound.
the Foley editor, like who puts the sound in afterwards, it's
You're
very
giving this
crunchy.
way too much credit.
It's crunch.
It's the same guy.
It crunches. It's just like
Yeah.
every time he walks.
And it's almost not quite in sync
Right.
with his steps either.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple times in there where it's like, did you crunch leaves in your hand?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck were you doing? And it's loud too. So he gets into the fucking diner, and Olga,
Yeah.
whoever the fuck she is, comes walking in. She welcomes him to the diner. Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eric. You did a really good impression.
I
of
don't
it.
remember what she says now. I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
I wish you. Yeah. And all I could think was, holy shit, hire the handicap. They're fun to watch. Because this lady's like, hello. And then she puts her arm out,
Yeah.
like showing him the seat. But like, bam,
Yeah.
there's the seat.
Yeah.
You sit, took us, now.
It almost all the times in this movie when two people are having a dialogue, there's one camera, and so they would like they'll go like, if you and I are,
It's a close up.
right, so like the camera will be on me. I'm the only person in the scene. in the shot, and I say my lines, and then the camera flips so that you're the only one in the shot, and you say your lines back to me, and then you flip back to me, and I respond to you, and you flip back, and that's how we do dialogue through almost the entire movie.
Yeah, and there's definitely, and it's always one line per line to line to line. Yeah, there's always a line and a response.
And it honestly seems like they recorded them at different times, especially like outside scenes. Like the light and the sound is different. When they flop to the other person, like, no, you didn't even do this at the same time. You did this like 2 days apart.
You had a different microphone. You forgot the other microphone in your car or some shit. Yeah, and you just went with it. Yeah, it's god awful. And there's plenty of scenes in this movie that we may be getting ahead of ourselves here, but not really, because there's no getting ahead of yourself in this. It's just pick it all apart. Where like when they shoot the scene, you see them like physically waiting for action.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then they go, like, because it'll be like, the editing is so horrendous that, like, all right, that part, you were supposed to cut that, like, half a second out of there. Because there's that half a second where you're watching it as a viewer and you're like, why aren't they doing anything? What are they? And then they commence to speak or move or whatever. And it's obvious by about the third time they do it that you're like, oh, Jesus, they're just waiting for the scene to start.
Yeah.
It's bad. So, yeah, he gets... He gets his seat, and he's sitting there looking at the menu, and then he sees who would be, I guess, our heroine for this movie. Mm-hmm. And, all right, like, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, okay, she's hot. So, she looks good. And then I'm like, okay, he's really staring her down.
Like, he stares at her for an uncomfortably long time.
Yeah, like, he's
I feel
straight
like
up
he's rubbernecking over the edge of the table.
Well, he's staring at her. She's not quite looking at him. She's looking down at whatever she's looking at, menu or whatever, a book. And he's just staring a hole in this chick's face, right? And she gets up to leave. And it's then that I realize that everybody, at least in this one town, has microphones in their feet. Because she's making the same fucking crunchy, clippity-cloppity noise. That they have hooves. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
Everybody is like half centaur.
Yeah, but she's making that noise. That would have been a way better movie. Birdemic.
Centaur.
Attack of the Centaurs. Holy shit. So she goes walking out, and he cranes his neck, like Eric says, all the way to follow her ass out of this place for so long that I had a Me Too movement. I was like,
there's a couple of nitpicky things though. He gets the menu. He doesn't order. She doesn't come back to take his order. But when she walks by, he's got
3 drinks.
He's got an orange juice, a cup of coffee, and a bottle of water.
Holy shit! I totally missed that. I missed that.
That's courtesy of the riff track. Yes. I missed that too until the second playthrough, and they're like, "Wait a minute."
I was way too.
He's got 3 drinks already.
I was way too busy, like, figuring out how long he was going to stare at this chick's ass as she walked out the door.
He's
and mind you, I'm the creepy old man of the podcast.
He's got like half a glass of orange juice, a coffee cup, and a bottle of water.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of time passed.
At least we have a time frame. Yeah. It's breakfast, coffee and juice. So so now he chases after her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he apparently remembers her from high school or something.
He remembers her from high school.
His approach is like, it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah. And then this actual scene, it legitimizes my theory of this was shot by my kid.
Yeah.
Because it's like from like down around their waist.
Right.
Up at them. And I was like, who the fuck really is my 7-year-old shot this? Because it's not like a good angle of them whatsoever. It's from down on the ground. So, he chases her down. So it's like, you look familiar, blah, 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 whatever. God, please, somebody.
So he says, did you go to such and such high school? And she's like, yeah, how'd you know? He goes, oh, I did too. Oh, you were in my English class.
Yeah, I sat behind you or some shit.
I sat 2 seats behind you. And then she's like, okay, great, I got to go. And he's like, so what do you do? And she's like, I'm a fashion model.
Oh, you know what? Also, he established that he had sat behind her in English, right? The next thing he says to her is like, are you from around here?
Right.
Like, motherfucker, you just said you were in English class.
Right. We just established that we went to high school.
Well, I think, like just being like military and like, okay, we're transplanted here. I let that one pass just because, do you still live around here maybe or something?
That would have been better that's not what he says.
Yeah,
and then,
are you from around here? Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm a fashion model. And he goes, yeah, and a really good looking one too. And then, and then she finds a way to walk away, and then he calls her by her name, which he never asked her.
Now he knows her fucking name.
But he never asked her name.
Okay, it's time for Noah to say goodnight.
Night.
Night.
Good night, Noah.
Noah, Tell everybody, say, Birdemic stinks. No? Birdemic stinks.
Birdemic stinks?
There you go. That's an official rating. I love you.
I know.
Good I know. Then he calls her by her name, which he never got.
Yeah, he apparently remembered from high school because he's really creepy.
Yeah,
I was like, now he knows her name.
Yeah. Then he tracks her down and gets her card.
They
They exchange business cards.
Can we get together? Let's get together
They
sometime.
exchange business cards.
Here's my card. Here's mine. Everybody in this town's got a fucking business card.
Right.
This is another theme to this movie because you want to talk about a guy that like thinks his job is everything and then some and a bag of chips. That's this dude. He is like loving himself and he's ready to pop out that business card to give to some girl he sees at the diner.
Yep.
And that was my thing. Like everyone was walking around with business cards, but then I realized, no, it's California, so of course they all have. Like I'm surprised she wasn't walking around with a bag full of headshots. You know?
Yeah.
Ta-da! So, all right, go ahead.
So then he drives away. I think they pan to like this 1 hour photo place where she's getting her headshot taken.
Oh no, it goes to his house first. He's in the house watching.
Oh yeah,
the news.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the thing I
he's
didn't
watching
pick up on.
He's
the
watching
news
the news
from the high school video club or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like the most
it looks
terrible.
like.
And that's one of those scenes where they're waiting for the cut because she gets done with the TV news thing, and then she's just sitting there silently until he turns the TV off.
Right.
Yeah. It's like she was literally in the box.
I was waiting for
him to
like
show
a
up.
"back to you, John" or something,
Yeah.
and it's just like crickets
And the
turns
whole
off
thing,
the TV.
the entire news article is about dead seagulls, dead crows, and the dwindling polar bears because of the glaciers and whatever. And so again, hindsight, should have fucking seen this thing coming. Go ahead.
And then thanks to the riff tracks guys, there's the newscaster says because it's so poorly written says the polar bears are dwindling because of the lack of diet because they eat animals such as seals.
Such as seals, yeah.
Like it's so poorly written.
Yeah, such as seals.
Such as seals.
And that was where I jumped in with the background music again because we've got our free YouTube audio or it's from a Legend of Zelda game. And I'm not 100% sure because that one track I'm pretty sure it's from Legend of Zelda.
Yep.
One of them. I think it was like Ocarina of Time. And then he's driving again. Yeah, because I was like, holy shit, $4.59 for regular. Then again, I should have really seen this coming.
Yeah.
Because it holds.
It holds
on
the
gas
gas
prices,
station. Yeah.
Right? And then more driving.
Well, yeah, because I think somewhere in my notes I'm like, is this a cautionary tale about global warming and we use too much fossil fuels and that sort of thing?
Oh, by the way, this must have taken them 2+ years to make this movie because if you notice when he's in the gas station and they got the birth date, you must be this old to purchase cigarettes, right?
Right.
It says 1980 on it, but in any case, it took them a while to make this movie if it didn't release till 2010.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's like, whoa, wait a minute, something's not right there.
What were they doing for 2 fucking years?
I don't know.
They sure as hell weren't editing.
I don't know what they were doing.
Jesus. But yeah, so again, they're doing more driving, right? They're going around. And yeah, like, so you picked up on is this maybe a global warming thing? I was all in on how bad this movie was, and I wasn't really paying attention until I went back, and I was like rage watching it. I was just mad that you had actually like.
And, to jump ahead for a second, like there's the scene where the girlfriend of the guy he works with is in some hotel, and it says like imagine peace.
Yeah,
and then they go see An Inconvenient Truth together on a double
date.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heavy-handed.
And then the guy, his buddy, is like, I'm getting a environmentally friendly car like right now.
Oh yeah, and then he's like, I already have one.
Yeah.
It's my Mustang.
Yeah, it's a plug-in hybrid. No, it isn't.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I wanted to tell him he's very ahead of his time.
Yeah, apparently
the
this
Mustang
movie,
hybrid comes out next year.
Yeah, this movie took place in the future, 10 years in the future, believe it or not.
Yeah, and then the doctor, the ornithologist.
We're getting way ahead of everything here.
Yeah, but later on, he complains about global warming and some stuff. So I'm like,
a 4-minute.
Yeah, he gets like a
rant.
monologue about the thing.
But I'm like, look,
that was when I was like, oh, you son of a bitch.
It's one thing to be a crappy movie. It's another thing to be a preachy crappy movie.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that at the end of this. Yeah. So let's pick the rest of this thing apart. So while he's driving, that was the first thing I thought was I timed it again. It's another full minute of driving footage. Okay, which really doesn't sound like a lot until you're sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
And you're like, how long is he fucking driving?
Yeah.
So then
headshots. Did that? How
Yeah, the headshots. The headshots are in here somewhere.
Yeah, she's at the 1 hour photo getting her headshot done.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's right here. Oh no, it's right after he seals his deal.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
He seals the deal.
Oh, that deal is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's talking all the. What if I give you a 50% discount?
Yeah.
All right.
What would it take to get your business today? He's coming across like a dude selling like Geico's younger brother,
Right.
Yeah.
and he's in a back alley fucking insurance office. It was like, it looks like
It looks like a boiler room.
Yeah, we would have gotten better footage out of this fucking garage.
Yeah.
It gives me high hopes for YouTube.
Yeah.
And then he gives him 50% off, and he says he closed the deal for $1 million.
And something else.
what the
We
fuck
don't know
was he
what the
selling?
something
Yeah.
else is, but he's giving them something else too because the guy on the phone clearly asked for something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that and 50% discount." And then what's hilarious is the guy his workmate or whatever
His buddy,
comes up to him
his
like,
best friend.
"What are you cheering about? What's all the noise?" Some shit
What's
like
all
that,
the no-
right? Yeah. I just closed
says,
the deal $1
"What's-"
million, and I'm thinking to myself, "You just cost your company $1 million.
He
Fucking
misspeaks.
50% discount.
Right.
That's what you go in with."
But his friend misspeaks. It's all how you look at it, right? Is it half full, half empty.
Yeah.
His friend misspeaks too, and they don't catch it in the shitty editing. Surprise, surprise. But he's like, "What's all the noise about?"
Yeah.
He's like he just stammers over himself, and they just keep on going with it. And it's like, no, we only have one take. You're gonna kick us out of our office.
We don't reshoot this.
We can't record over the old film, so.
So he's got a $1 million sale, yeah. And I'm like, Wall Street, this isn't, but it was horrendous. And then they go into the, oh my God, she's a fashion model. Mind you, by the way, side note, I just wanted to see how many little prepositions I get in there. This is only 11 minutes and 27 seconds into this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be aware of that. This all happens in the first less than 12
And it took
minutes.
4 minutes for him to park the car and get into the diner.
Yeah.
So we go 4 minutes there, and then in 7 more minets, we've established that he's a shitty salesman who gives 50%
He's an
discounts
amazing
for
shitty
nothing. Salesman. She's a bad model who got her headshot taken at 1 hour photo, but then she gets the call from her agent on her flip phone to get the Victoria's Secret cover model.
Okay, so were those
She went
photos?
from 1 hour photo. Yeah, because she's literally
Those
doing a
photos
photo
she was
shoot.
taking were for Victoria's Secret, apparently.
No. They were. I don't know what they were for. They were for a job because
She said,
I know,
she's
but
an
when her
model.
agent calls her, she's like, "It worked" or
Victoria's
something.
She blows him off to say, "I have an audition
Yeah.
for a fashion model job." So I assumed that the 1
that
hour
was quick.
the 1 hour
Okay,
photo thing.
I didn't really.
And she didn't even wear a bra and panties the whole time. Like, what is
Right.
Victoria's
Yeah,
Secret
we get
doing
that later.
for
And
auditions?
if that's Victoria's Secret, she's gonna do better.
Instead, she was with like some fake Chinese outfit with an umbrella, and I don't know what the hell was going on in that photo shoot.
I don't know. Again,
It was at the 1 hour.
My
It was
side
at the-
note is she still get it. Though.
It was at the 1 hour photo, so
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But then she
you
gets
work with what you got.
I
gets
feel
the
like
call
she
from
just
her-
went to Walgreens and she was
She
like,
literally walked
"Hey,
out of the 1
you
hour
guys do
photo.
passport photos? Do you think you could do my model shoot?"
Yeah,
The
that's
guy
exactly
behind the
what she did.
counter is like, "Fuck yes,
Yeah,
I can."
Yeah, exactly. And there's some kid behind him like, I need a passport photo. How long is this going to take? We've only got 7 more headshots. Shut up. Just wait.
And then she gets the call from her agent that she's going to be the Victoria's Secret cover model. Which,
Immediately
Yeah.
as she walks out of the door.
yeah,
If those two were connected, I just assumed it was like another thing she did and this was just like another job she was doing. If those two were connected, how the fuck... I mean, I know Victoria's Secret runs through models, but Jesus.
well, there's another timing issue later when we go from, and again, I don't
He
want to
said
jump
there's
ahead.
another timing issue like there's one.
Yeah, they go from his company getting bought by Oracle to him starting a green tech company,
Holy
and he gets
shit.
Yeah.
$10 million
So is this
in
dude-
funding in a week.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, we're going to get to that in a second because I got a major bone to
He
pick
says
now.
it happened in a week.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
You wouldn't even get
All
your
right.
stock options in a
All
week,
right,
for
so now that
Christ's
both of our main characters have received life-changing news, he calls her
Yeah.
and they decide they're going to go out to dinner. Side note I had for every time Natalie's phone rings, I'm looking for a bike messenger because she's got that annoying fucking bling, bling,
Oh,
bling,
yeah.
like a little bell on the bike. I'm
Yeah.
like, change your ringtone. So he keeps up the creeper vibe when she tells him, I just got a call to be Victoria's Secret's cover model.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you look good in that lingerie.
sake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dude, dude, tone it down like half.
Super creep.
Yeah.
Every time.
Holy shit. He needs like 2 roofies and a fucking sweater. Game on.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a colorful sweater and a pudding pop away from being Bill Cosby.
Or a Hawaiian shirt,
Right.
giggity away from
Right.
being.
Quagmire.
Holy shit. Oh my god, it is. It's a real life Quagmire. Yeah. All right.
No, that's his buddy.
Let's go for Vietnamese.
Because his buddy when they're playing basketball, he's like, a day without sex, and he's doing this sort of two-handed hump thing. A day without sex is a day wasted. You're like, all right, Quagmire.
Yeah, giggity. Yeah. What the fuck? Oh my god. Yeah, that goes right into my next one. White men still can't jump. They're out there playing basketball, and they're complaining about the heat wave.
Yeah.
Again, hindsight. Holy shit, I really should have seen this shit coming.
Yep.
So they're complaining about it, and then they talk about having sex. Is that all you think about? Just to show you how righteous Rod really is.
Yeah, by the way, his name's Rod.
Yeah. I'd say, is it on the nose? But,
yeah.
You know. Yeah, so Rod is this righteous dude that just, he's looking for more than just sex and whatever. Okay. Meanwhile, he's creeping all over this girl.
Yeah.
So then he goes home and he watches the news again. And they talk about wildfires that suck. And so you got wildfires raging. And then they talk about the first green Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all hybrid and electric cars.
Yeah.
And they're going to race around San Francisco streets. And they're going to be driven by Hollywood celebrities. Just letting you know that it's Hollywood and Californians, and those are the only people that can save the world.
Yeah.
And all the rest of us suck. So there you go.
Yep.
Just to make sure they're the ones that do what's right for Mother
Do you know
Earth.
what's even more green? Not having fucking 50 cars race around anywhere.
Right.
Right? At all.
Right.
Period.
Park them. Walk.
Oh, so now we're going to lead into my point of contention to Rod's later endeavors, okay? The doorbell rings. Here's Jerry Owens from Solar Power Accessories. And I wrote, Jesus Christ, how did I miss all this?
Yeah. No, I actually did too. I mean, I saw the theming, but I missed a lot of those little...
I missed all this little, because I was too busy laughing at how bad it was.
Yeah, no, I caught most of this, yeah.
I will... Point of approval for this movie right here is where they do a nice little wide side-by-side shot of the two of them talking to each other in his living room. Mm. And I'm like, they know how to do one. So I'll take that point of approval away because I know they know how to do it and they just don't. So they do it one time, this fucking movie is right there. So they're talking about how he wants to put solar panels on the guy's roof, right? So Rod's like, well, where are you going to put them? He's like, let me show you. And he brings him outside, and they're standing outside the house. He's pointing. He literally walks him outside and points above the garage, like, ugh. There.
Yeah.
And how much? $20,000. $20,000. I don't know. Can you do better? For you, I'll knock off $1,000. Okay, deal. Let's jump ahead to Rod's future endeavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just went from haggling $20,000 for a set of solar panels that you barely knew how they worked.
Right.
And now you're making state-of-the-art
solar panels?
Right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
State of the art.
Yeah,
those
shit.
motherfuckers were like
nanotechnology.
I don't know what he was, like 8 cents per kilowatt hour on these bitches.
Yeah. It was 4 cents.
I don't know.
4 cents.
Somebody else the number was.
Somebody else charged you like $20 a kilowatt
It was like
hour.
exponential difference.
And his was like 10 cents. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was like, do you want this ice pop or do you want $50 million?
Yeah.
That was his offer.
Right.
I was like, okay. Yeah, it was fucking dumb. Okay, I'm done with Jerry. Oh, no, sorry. Another side note. Thank God that he's a potential billionaire because a house that size in San Francisco?
Yeah.
The fuck is he paying for that?
Wait, did we skip the boardroom scene already?
No, it hasn't.
No, we're getting there.
Okay, sorry.
He's a potential millionaire because they discussed maybe the company's going to get bought out,
Oh, okay,
which will
all
make
right,
us all billionaires because we have a stock option. Look, I've had stock options in companies before. That's not...
Yeah, it's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
I'd have many comments on this. I have been personally in numerous acquisitions in a company. It does not happen like that. It
Right.
takes sometimes 6 months longer to close out. And then for people to get paid out, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
And how much stock do you have in this fucking company?
Right.
How much is this company even worth? So they say Oracle buys them for is it $1 billion with a B?
Yes.
Billion.
$1 billion with a B.
And they're all millionaires.
Yeah, and
Well,
he
granted,
was
there were
over
only,
there
like, 15
selling
people in that room.
$1 million deals at half price. But yeah, okay.
Right.
So like $1 billion company gives a shit about his $1 million 50% discount deal. But okay, all right. There's even a scene where he talks to the boss. I know I'm jumping ahead, but
It's okay.
he talks to his boss or whatever, and he promotes himself to his boss. Do you remember that? He was like, "Yeah, I did a really great job." His boss was like, "Yeah, you did."
Yeah.
I feel like his
I did a
boss
really
was one of the
great
few
job,
people
this.
that actually could sort of act, and it didn't feel completely unnatural.
Yeah. Except when he leads the round of applause.
Well,
and he's like, come on, keep it going.
Yeah.
Oh,
You,
please.
You,
Okay.
You too. You
All right.
too,
So
you
can
too.
we go to
Yeah.
that now,
Yes.
or do you got something else in between?
Hang on. Where the fuck am I?
Oh, but we need to establish. we need to establish that he has a house. Okay, because that's going to come later when he hooks up
He
with
has
her.
a house.
He has a house. Natalie.
He's by
has
himself.
Natalie has an apartment.
Yes.
Her mom has a house, and I'm sorry to jump ahead, but we need to establish this because later on,
It's going to come in handy.
it's going to come in
later,
handy.
Yeah, yes, and she goes to visit the mom later. Yeah, anyway. They get to the date before the acquisition. Because
Their first date, yes.
their first date is before the acquisition.
Yeah.
Because the first thing I said was, thank God he's a potential millionaire because of the house. I said, I don't know what the fuck he's paying. And what the fuck is going on with this restaurant? He says, I've got this Vietnamese place, right? First shot, nice, beautiful shot of the restaurant from the outside. Second shot is immediately him standing outside waiting, right? 2 different fucking buildings.
Right.
2 different restaurants, 2 different names. The first one is the wide shot of the restaurant is, I'm going to fuck this up, but who cares? It's Birdemic. Seago T&K Food Market. It's a food market.
Yeah.
And the close up to Rod standing in front of it is the Nha, NHA, Trang restaurant.
Yeah.
2 different fucking buildings completely.
Yeah.
You can see it as soon as it changes from what is. It's like they saw this really nice building and they're like, oh shit, film that for the Vietnamese scene. And then they said, okay, let's film him waiting for her.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the building that he is waiting in front of does say Vietnamese and Chinese food, so at least there's that. They got that part right. So then they go in there and they go to eat, but they have like more panning shots through the restaurant.
Yep.
And I've never had a movie make me suicidal, but this is getting close. I'm just fucking so tired of you. Just cut a scene.
Right.
Like, cut 5 seconds.
Well, I think this is the date where
Very nice wallpaper, by the way.
they have a conversation about like what kind of guy do you like, what kind of woman do you like, whatever, and then they go outside for a walk, and that's the first time they see birds, right? The really bad CGI birds,
And they're all happy about it, and they're pointing and laughing at them, and the birds are like awkwardly floating above a tree.
right?
Like
Right, they're hovering.
Flapping their wings.
So apparently their editing department consists of word art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And these are like eagles, I'm pretty
They're
sure.
eagles. Yeah, they say they're
So-
eagles.
If anything,
Well, the
if you
first
were
thing
to
I think
see
those are
that,
because they're green, so I think those are parrots or something because they don't.
oh
attack.
no, he's right. They are parrots.
They don't
are
attack.
parrots.
Yeah,
No,
for
they're
you,
parrots
they
in
just-
that first one.
They don't
just
attack.
fly right by.
Yeah.
I do want to go back to the dinner. He says in that conversation, "I like sales. It fits my personality."
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And my first thought was, "What fucking personality
Yeah.
are you
Right.
talking about? 'Cause
Yeah.
you don't have any." So okay, good. So then I said, I'm 20 minutes into this fucking thing, and the Whitney Moore chick is the only thing holding this thing together at all.
Yeah, and then they see the birds, and then they go for a walk.
That's not to imply she's a good actress. Let's make sure that's
yeah,
clear.
No, she's attractive and she semi gets her lines right.
Yeah. And then they have this weird shot where it's clearly a green screen. There's a blurry shot of a club behind them, but they're like kind of slow dancing at what looks like a disco.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the first date?
That's
Yeah,
the first
that's the
date.
first
Then
date.
she goes and tells her mom about it.
Well, hold on.
Okay, all right.
Because
but this is
Go ahead. Go.
so they do that, and then he takes her home, and they're standing outside of her door, and she's like, "Okay, good night," and he goes, "Can't I come in?" And she goes, "Not on the first date. I'm not that
I'm
kind
not
of girl."
that kind of girl. Yeah.
All
And
right.
then she goes in, and then she goes to see her mom, and she says, he's a great guy. You know, most guys just want one thing from me, but not him. He just tries.
That's a good catch. So apparently she's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Thank God she's a model.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, you know, he really cares about what I have to say, and blah blah blah. Like he just tried to push up on you on the first date.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought when I saw her walk in there to say hi to Mom was Rod might want to meet Mom soon, just to see what his future holds. Because, there's a downward spiral there.
Mom is retired and living large, and they're going to talk about
literally,
that
yes, literally.
And then Mom is constantly trying to get her to like do real estate or something and get out of modeling.
Yeah. Leave her alone.
Yeah,
she ain't got a brain in her fucking head apparently.
Right.
So now we're on the business meeting. Go ahead.
Well, the meeting itself is fine. Actually, I feel like
is this when the CEO
that
comes
is
in
the way
to
that
make the announcement?
The whole
that is
meeting
the way it would go.
We got
down.
bought out.
Yeah. I've been at a company that's been through 3 buyouts now, so this is kind of how it happens. Like, we usually have an all hands meeting, and the president or whatever comes in and they say, "Hey, we've been bought out." But what usually follows that is this deal will take 6 months, 9 months, some shit to close.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, we're just going to keep operating like normal, you know. And then the stock option stuff, those are always conversations that are handled in private.
Right.
You don't do those in a public forum. But that's not even why this is so funny. It's the fucking clap.
He tells them all they've got the stock option. He might as well have ended this movie with this meeting with "pack your shit."
Yeah.
Because we're done.
And so there's like, I don't know, 10 or 12 people sitting around kind of a long conference table.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the
on
camera
every side.
and the camera pans to all of them in groups of 2 or 3.
2 at a time, yeah.
2 or 3 at a time, and they all clap.
Yeah, and they start clapping,
Right.
and they stop clapping, and then
then
it
it
pans
goes to
to
the
the
next
next
And they
group.
start clapping.
Like, wait,
and then
shouldn't this be a continuous clap at least?
Here's the thing: it doesn't even pan though. It hard cuts.
No, it does hard cut. You're right.
It hard
Yeah.
cuts, which makes it even worse.
Right. If
So
it
it
just
goes-
panned, they could all just be clapping at the same time.
So
Yeah.
they all clap. So it's this.
And then no, it's like
Okay,
you clap
see.
and then stop, and then I clap and then I stop, and they're right.
Yeah, and the camera jump
Right.
cuts to each one.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are they doing? Well, like, it was amazing.
The camera was on a stand, and somebody had to get in there and manipulate it and twist it, so they couldn't do it as a continuous shot.
There was no. Meanwhile, you handheld the fucking thing in the Mustang. You couldn't have just walked around the room.
They handhold it in several places. Actually, there are several places where the camera is weirdly like moving around, and you're like, "What the fuck? This is distracting."
Yeah.
Not just the bad acting, but the fucking camera is also distracting.
My God. That shit was hilarious.
All right, so apparently with his $1 million half off sale,
here's the plug-in hybrid part.
he's got stock options that are
date.
making him a billionaire.
Now he's a
what
billionaire.
The company's only worth $1 billion, but he's a billionaire anyway.
That was amazing, right? That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Along with the other 12 people that
everybody's a billionaire
consecutively clapped, not in tandem.
Consecutive clapping.
You have to clap for each person that got stock
It's gonna be
options
the name of this
that
fucking-
closed out in 1 week.
It's going to be the name of this episode: Birdemic and the consecutive clapping.
Right.
Jesus. So that's when they're on the date. That's when you find out that his girlfriend's friend is his best friend's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this stupid.
That's very convenient.
plot.
That's very good. And that's when they do the Imagine piece. You're clearly in a hotel room.
Yeah.
With a sheet of paper that someone printed out.
Yeah.
www.imaginepeace.com.
Yeah. I did not check. I thought about it. I did not go to the website.
I didn't because I just, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not getting.
Yeah.
I'm not
getting
the
in.
time of the day.
And so she's doing some. Is she work? No, aren't they like getting it on?
Yeah. She's doing some work.
Yeah, she's working.
She answers the phone.
Yeah.
It's Natalie is looking to get her to go on a double date with her and Rod, and the phone hangs up, and she tells,
dude,
Broseph. I don't know what the fuck his name is.
I don't think we know his name.
Which guy?
His buddy from work.
Quagmire.
It's Tony.
It's Tony.
Oh, is it Tony?
Sure.
Tony.
It's Quagmire. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So
Quagmire.
So it's a real life Quagmire. RLQ.
Right.
that, hey, my friend wants us to go on this double
His
date.
name in real life is Colton, by the way, which they should have just
They should
used
have just
for
left
the
it
movie.
with Colton.
That
Yeah,
would've been
right.
perfect.
Colton fits so much better than
Yeah.
that guy. Jesus Christ. So she says, "Oh yeah, Natalie, that's my friend Natalie. She's a fashion model, and she met this guy. She wants us to go on a double date. This guy Rod, and he's like, Rod, my friend Rod just started going out with a fashion model. Oh,
Yeah.
your best friend is dating my best friend.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, and he's like, sounds like fun. As he's grabbing her ass, so I'm like, what the fuck kind of date does he think this is gonna be?
Yeah.
Like, is it, Colton just jumped this into Swingerville.
Right.
He was like, all right. The fuck, it was so weird. It was very awkward. So they go on the double date and they go to see.
They go to see An Inconvenient Truth.
Yeah.
Even though so not only did I watch the riff tracks, I watched something on YouTube. It's one of those everything wrong with things.
Damn, you like studied up, man.
Yeah. My Amazon's going to wonder why I searched Birdemic so many times because there's a couple things that I went back to rewatch, different scenes, and then I watched the riff tracks, and then I went to see this. There's an establishing shot of the theater that they go to, and Inconvenient Truth is not on the marquee.
That's awesome.
It's not surprising.
And
really.
so they go on the double date, and they stand in the parking lot, and that's when real life Quagmire decides, I'm getting a car that's environmentally friendly right now.
Side note, do you know what's on the marquee?
Yes. 4 Christmases, something else, Australia.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I was curious.
Damn.
I just wanted to know. Paul pulled some info out of his ass. That's what
I
he
know.
listened to.
You see,
Is that Captain
he was
Google?
like checking his brain there for that. Like,
Yeah.
I told you.
that was
Captain Tangent, lowest common denominator, and Captain Google, General Google. I don't know. GG. They're gonna. Idiot says he's gonna get an environmentally friendly car.
Yeah.
And Rod declares.
Rod declares he's
mine
starting.
already is.
Yeah, it's a plug-in hybrid. It gets 100 miles, 100 mpg.
100 mpg.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a Mustang. Like I said earlier.
Right.
The fucking thing is, I immediately looked this up.
Right.
The Mustang hybrid is coming out in 2020.
Well,
so
maybe this took place in the future.
Rod is a forward thinker.
And to be fair, when he's driving, it doesn't seem like it can go over 30. Even when he's on the highway, that thing is scooting along.
There's no
He's got
point
the
at
tow
which
truck behind him.
there is no point at which he speeds.
He's holding up traffic. There's that one shot in the beginning where he's coming along and he's holding up traffic.
He really
behind
is
him.
holding up traffic. Yes.
All right.
And then
Don't buy a hybrid Mustang.
This is the point where Rod decides he's going into the green tech business and he's going to start the solar panel company.
Jesus
Yeah, because I've got in
Christ.
here more driving and panic shots. Yeah. And then they're enjoying their day out with lots of walking and panning shots.
Oh wait, that actually reminds me. Every time they're having like a date or like a moment together, you for some reason don't get like the audio. Like it's just laughing and they're maybe saying something and you're not sure what. It's like they couldn't take the time to write any lines and they were just like, dude, just move your mouth and laugh at each other.
Yeah. So it was because that was a date thing right before. I think it was right before he goes to. It's either before or after. Maybe I skipped over the meeting where he's trying to do the. Go ahead,
Well, no. So he starts Mass Solar, the green tech solar company.
Solar.
Solar, yeah.
And
just to reiterate, he does this after meeting a random dude at his front door and negotiating him down $1,000 on some solar panels that he knew nothing about.
Right. Meanwhile,
he's apparently a software company salesman. That was his background.
He gives somebody a 50% discount, but only accepts a 5% discount. And then, so he goes into this business. He somehow gets a meeting with venture capitalists. He becomes an expert in solar panels, and then gives a PowerPoint presentation.
The worst PowerPoint presentation. I've sat through thousands of these. The worst one I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Easily.
And they go, you know what?
It's forward technology.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
You're getting your $10 million.
$10 million.
How much do you need?
How much do you want?
$10 million.
$10 million? Oh, yeah, you're getting... Oh, let's whisper real quick. Yeah, you're getting $10 million.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
So he gets $10 million.
Stupid. All right, they shake hands.
They go on a date to like the Pumpkin Festival or something.
Yes,
They
that's
walk
where
on the
they're
beach.
walking
That was
around.
weird. They do
They're
a
walking,
lot
they're
of
walking.
like.
They walk on the beach and then they
They walk
see the
around-
dead. They see the first dead eagle.
Well, that was my thing here. I was
Well,
like,
don't
'cause they're back
skip
in
the beach yet. Because
Yeah, they're
that
back
was
in the
ridiculous.
Mustang. I was really nervous. Then I was like, okay, great, we're back at the beach. And then the first thing I said was, way to edit out the fucking wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because her
You
hair's
could
blowing
barely,
crazy.
and you could barely hear what
You
they're
couldn't hear
saying.
anything.
Yeah.
The microphone and the camera. That was it. Put a microphone. We've got lavalier mics that cost us like $20.
Yeah.
Stick one on a fucking body and come on, dude. Anyway, sorry.
And then it jump cuts out half of what she says.
Yeah, I couldn't hear her. I could barely hear him. Because that's the only note I wrote on that was, what the fuck did he just try to say about all life being part of the sea?
Yeah.
It was some, like, he was getting, like, some exponential,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
mind-blowing shit. I don't know what reefer they just smoked, but holy shit, they were way out there. And
Yeah.
he was talking about, look at the sea. I just Keanu'd for a second. I'm sorry. Look at the sea. And he's just fucking, all life is part of the sea or some shit like that. And like, because we're made up of water, so all life is part of the sea. That was it. That was pretty much dead on point what he said. And I was just like, dude. And she was all like, all into it, like, yeah.
And that's the point where they see the dead CGI bird.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
The dead clip art bird.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I love how he childs her at that scene too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, don't touch it,
Right.
Don't touch it. It might be contagious, or what the fuck does he say? It doesn't say contagious. He says something else.
Yeah.
He says something stupid. Like,
yeah.
You know, you'll catch
He mansplains
something
it to her
or-
like,
Yeah.
don't touch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the other thing I wrote in here. I was like, I've seen 3 fucking birds alive in this movie who've done nothing, and I haven't prayed for a Tommy Wiseau cameo in my life.
Right.
Jesus,
and
please.
this CGI is like, if you have not watched this movie, it's the worst CGI you could imagine. I don't even know what to say. It's like somebody just copy pasted a picture of an eagle on the sand upside down or something.
Yeah. That was just dead laying there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll get to the other ones later.
Yeah, well, there's even worse.
Yeah.
No, the worst is coming up, actually, real soon here.
Because then they go, and she brings him to meet Mom. And I'm like,
Yep.
you know, he's a brave guy. He doesn't bat an eye talking to this woman. And she talks about how great married life, retirement
Oh, I
life is.
I love the retirement conversation too. Like,
You're like, because he's early retired.
I heard
too.
you're early retiring.
Yeah.
Oh, how's retirement going for you? And she's like, oh yeah, marry this guy.
If she could have taken Natalie and stuck her on his dick, I just grabbed the back of her daughter's head and just. Well, it would have also made a better movie too.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I don't.
Rule 34.
James Nguyen is the director. Is that right? Yeah.
oh shit!
I don't know
Rule
what's wrong with.
34, Birdemic. See what we come up with.
I don't know what's wrong with this guy, but I don't think he's ever had a date in his life or met anybody's mother. Or
No,
it's like Tommy Wiseau. Like you have no idea how
Yeah.
people actually interact or how
Pretty sure they're from the
relationships
same
work
planet.
at all.
He's a the fourth thing I watched about this is
Holy shit,
I'm so sorry,
Paul! Do you still have a day job?
I've broken Paul.
it was Gail took Presley to dance class, so I had some time, and as I was watching the 20 things wrong or so many things wrong with this movie in 20 minutes.
Make sure he's got no armament in this house at all. Because
Yeah.
this is how serial killers start.
There's a show on the Vice network. It's on YouTube that they interview James Nguyen about this movie.
Oh, am I
And
right? Is he like total
Yeah,
off weird
correct,
guy?
yeah.
Okay.
How
awesome.
close to Tommy Wiseau is he?
Sort of like Tommy Wiseau.
See, they're from the same fucking planet.
He's a first generation. He's Vietnamese.
Obviously, because they put the Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Well, his last name, but also they put the Vietnamese. They put the
skip
Vietnamese
that.
restaurant in there.
Rod's house is his house. Like they filmed it at his house.
Oh.
Like he's sitting at the counter where he eats the donut and watches the bad news.
Yeah, that's
Like,
his house.
Yeah, they showed that. He lives with his parents who are older. They're sort of first generation, right? No, he wasn't born here. They all came over together. He wanted to be a filmmaker, didn't really know how, so he just grabbed a camera and just started making a movie. He edited it on on an old Dell computer. I got like 10 minutes into it. But the thing I'm tired and
You have to
Using
send me a link to
software
this. I
from
have to
like
watch this.
1995.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so what happened is he goes to Sundance one year and takes this minivan, covers it in fake blood and stuffed birds, and just has that bird screeching noise out of his window and drives around Sundance giving out copies of the movie. and one of them ends up in the hands of an actual filmmaker who's like, you got to get a load of this guy, and this is, and he watches the movie and he's like, this is so bad it's good, and then he starts, sort of helping this guy kind of promote this movie. And I'm tired of people finding these things so bad they're good. Like, there's no good in this.
Yeah,
this
there really isn't.
This just sucks. Anyway, so that goes a long way to say, he shot this like with no money, bad editing.
If I had spent $6 to watch this as a Sunday matinee, I would have been mad.
Yeah,
this is not good.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit mad at you that you made me watch it.
Yeah.
I asked you to watch this thing, and I had to sit there and text you 3 times before I got a reply out of you.
Yeah.
I was like, he's pissed.
Was it Monday I told you? I was
you're like, I'm 50 minutes into this thing, and John, I hate you.
Yeah. And so we get to, where are we at?
Oh shit! All right,
we had the beach scene
hanging
with all
out
the
with Mom.
wings, and then hanging out with
Talking to
Mom.
Yeah,
and now they're now they're on their other date. Just hanging out.
Oh
hanging
god,
out
with my
hanging out with my family.
So first of all, it is the most creepy dancing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it
look,
feels
I thought
uncomfortable.
I was white,
and this is both of them.
Jeez, yeah.
It's not
He's
just him.
like,
they're both looking super awkward and
the
uncomfortable.
hands up there,
she's doing kind of the robot,
the chop hands up in the air,
and he's doing just kind of finger snap.
Yeah,
shoulder move.
He's doing the hitch.
Yes.
When Will Smith tells idiot, "This is you right here." Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Yeah. And they're in a bar, seemingly by themselves.
Yeah, where the fuck is everybody else?
Yeah, I don't know.
They got this wonderful guy
running
to
away
sing.
from that dancing. That's where
they
they
got
are.
this wonderful guy to sing for this bar.
How much did that guy pay that bar to let him sing there?
Who sings a song that might be about incest?
I think he paid to be in this movie.
I think he said, "I'll buy you guys your dinner at this place if you'll let me sing."
He's not even in the credits, sadly.
Yeah.
We don't know who he is.
Nobody knows. Just black guy up on the stage.
Yeah.
It's barely
And
a stage. They put him up on a step.
I think it was a green screen stage, probably.
Yeah. Put this dude on the first step of the lobby, and he's sitting there singing this fucking song. Holy shit!
Yeah,
and it goes
the song
on forever.
The song only has like maybe 12 words in it.
Yeah,
and he just keeps repeating them.
It's again. hanging out with my family, having ourselves a party, over and over and over. And then there's a couple lines about like Uncle Phil's in the kitchen scoring, and Big Mama's in there, and the riff track guys are like, "Who is Uncle Phil scoring with? You're at a party with your family."
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know.
And that's why I had to go back.
So,
I had to go back and rewatch it because I just sort of blanked on the song. I didn't hear the lyrics.
Oh no, I heard the song first time. I'm like, what in the fuck is this? Because it's so repetitive, though. It just like keeps going.
I was transfixed on them dancing awkwardly.
Well, I was transfixed on them dancing for like 10 seconds, and I'm like, this is so uncomfortably weird. And then I started hearing the lyrics, and I'm like, oh no, it's worse than uncomfortably weird, actually, because we're doing it with the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I wrote. I was like, yeah, he's still hanging out with his fucking family.
Yeah.
I mean, how the hell did he get this gig? But we just figured that out. He paid to get it.
Yeah.
Then they jump to, while 3 people have a house. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Where are we?
While he has a house, she has an apartment, and Mom has a house, they go to a motel. And they don't.
And it's not like they leave town.
Correct. They don't establish they've left town.
Yeah. And you've seen all of this town. Mind you, we drove through it in the first 4 minutes of this fucking movie.
And we've established that
town.
there's beach scenes, and they've been to the beach before, and so they're not on vacation together. They're just at the end of this date, they go to a motel. And I'm like, why are they in a motel?
Yeah, and so now they show him standing there, and then she steps out from the bathroom, right?
So they go into the motel, and the next scene is she comes, because it's a cheesy motel, she comes around from the bathroom area, and she's in a bra and her underpants, and she goes, "So Rod, what do you think?" And then it cuts to him,
and he's creeping again.
He's super creeping again, and he goes. He takes his head and goes
down,
all the way down, like
to her toes,
like touches his chin to his chest all the way down. Not just looks with his eyes; his whole head goes all the way down.
Yeah, remember the act natural thing again?
Right.
Yes, yeah. So he's fucking creeping all the way again,
and then he goes,
and I'm like,
and then I don't know,
what
10
the fuck
seconds.
did he say?
10 seconds go by, and he goes, you look fine.
You look fine, right?
Yeah.
So then, so I'm like, all right, we're gonna get some. Like, she's definitely almost worth this movie.
Yeah.
She looks good.
She looks good. She looks good in the lingerie.
It's teal, by the way, which is a little bit strange.
Yeah.
It was weird for this scene. Like, oh, okay, whatever.
And that's the scene where when she comes out and she's in her underwear, is on the TV in the motel is Tippi Hedren from Birds.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, yeah.
And then, so they hit the bed. They start to make out. He's in his pants are still on.
Yeah.
He's got a black tank top, pants, belt. They hit the bed. They're making out. The camera
pans down her body.
And then
to her feet.
They stop on her feet. And her feet,
the bottom of her feet are a completely different race than the rest of
her.
They are
disgustingly black.
There go the sponsors.
They are filthy black.
You shouldn't have followed that up with disgustingly black.
Sorry.
that was wrong. We here at What If Geeks would like to apologize. that was mistimed.
They are so filthy dirty.
Her feet are darker than my kids. He's running out here barefoot, Florida. All the holy shit!
They're
Where
filthy.
The fuck does this girl live?
Yeah, and
she hasn't seen a pair of shoes ever.
And the camera stays on her feet,
and they make a focus shot out of it. That's the real problem.
Yeah. Like it's noticeable because the camera on her feet so long, and they're so dirty.
Right there. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for our accidental racist.
So then,
moment.
But there is a tease moment there. There is a tease moment.
I was wondering
when he grabs the bra strap and you think, oh
yeah,
shit.
I'm like, oh, we get no nudity, and I was like, oh, is he gonna fuck her belly button?
Yeah,
no,
right.
That didn't happen.
Tommy Wiseau style.
There you go. See, that's 2 room references.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Tommy Wiseau, at least there was nudity in that, semi-nudity in that movie.
Yeah,
not just Tommy's.
Yeah. No, Lisa looked good. She's got a nice rack. This girl looked better than Lisa, but
then
anyway.
This is so again, it takes 4 minutes for him to park in front of the diner. It takes a total of 7 to establish their characters. Now we're at the 40, because I paused it, we're at the 46-ish minute scene. There, for the next 2 minutes after they have sex, there's establishing shot of the beach,
the whole fucking town,
the whole town, a barn, a bunch of horses.
It's the sleepy morning town aspect.
Yeah. And then
think that when you go into this shot.
Yeah, different shots of the beach, the city, horses, a barn, whatever. And then it jump cuts to
immediately oh fuck, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. These birds are just raining down and stuff starts to explode.
No. They're not. No, they are flying back and forth, screeching the hell out of each other, and then one in every scene.
Yeah.
Dive bomb.
Kamikazes. And there's
kamikazes.
A literal explosion.
Yeah. What the fuck did they eat?
Right. Right. Why did the birds explode?
Well, this is just one of their superpowers that you're going to learn. But
when they slam into something, they blow up.
Yeah.
Explode. It's like airplanes. It's like...
And you hear this...
And that's the sound you hear. You hear the old prop planes.
I feel like this could have been a video game where you're trying to shoot the birds down before they explode the town or something, right?
No, Mr. Command had better graphics.
Yeah. On the 2600.
But yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. These birds are flying.
Literal.
Every scene, it cuts to one bird
dive bombing and exploding. A bird is exploding and setting shit on fire. And then they start cutting to other scenes.
In case you wondered, the explosion and the fire is very bad too.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire is maybe not explosion and fire is probably not the right term. It's a little bit of a poof pop.
Yeah.
And then there is a column of fire that comes off.
And you can tell it's superimposed on there because that comes back later when one of them hits a car.
Yeah.
At the gas station, no less. And nothing else blows up.
Yeah,
but there's a plume of fire coming off the car.
One of the birds hits one of the pumps and nothing else happens, but it goes...
Yeah. And part of the car has a flame coming out of it straight up in the air for 20 feet. What the fuck? It's ridiculous.
And then at the no-tell motel, wherever they are, there's just this endless squawking. Yes. And you see the eagles come out of the sky and hover right in
outside their window.
Outside of their window.
The window of their hotel, yes. Yeah. And she only opens the curtain just enough so you can see the tail and one wing flapping.
I can't do a good eagle, sorry.
She's still in her bra and underwear.
By the way,
underwear on.
We'll go back to this. She's got a nice ass.
Yeah. Bras on, underwear on. She gets up to check, He pans back. He still got his pants and his belt on.
Yeah, I don't...
And his shirt tucked in.
Which he had when they panned to her feet.
Yeah.
We've already established that this guy does not know how anything in life works, and apparently that either.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell he did, but sweep me off my feet. Holy shit.
So she runs to the window, and like, she goes, the birds, what are they doing? And he's like, I don't know. Pause. I don't know.
Yeah. It hangs on forever.
Right.
So
Action.
Let's put exactly. Let's put the mattress in front of the window.
Yeah.
So
the mattress. That's
put the
great.
mattress in
Who
front
the
of
fuck did? Would you? I'm sorry. Just not to go back to slasher movies or anything we were talking about earlier, but a mattress.
Yeah.
A fucking mattress. I guess they're birds.
Yeah, they figure out we'll block
But
the
they're
window
also
with it,
kamikaze explosive birds.
Yeah.
Kamikaze.
Ah, yeah. So they've got a mattress on a wall.
Yeah.
And then by some twist of fate, their friends are in the same hotel.
No.
Did they
Different
go
people.
together?
Different people.
Different people.
Oh, those were different friends. Yeah.
And here's something I want to point out before we get into the dumb shit in this. Well, we're already knee deep in it. The hotel, right? When they go into the room, in their room, Natalie and Rod, they've got the hotel room number on the door, right? When they make a run for it, after when they get up in the morning and they're okay, the birds seem like they're gone. I don't know, maybe they just got tired. Sure. Way to go, Rod. I'm going to say it like a surfer dude from now on.
Yeah.
Nice going, Rod. This asshole, like, all right, let's make a run for it. They literally run 3 doors down, right? When they start knocking on the door, there's nothing on the outside of the door, right?
Right.
When he opens the door from the inside, the numbers are on
There's
the door.
a room number, right?
Yeah, it's like 302 or some shit.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, get in. And they get in, they shut the door, right? And they go, what's
so-
with the birds attacking?
So they decide that they're going to take the mattress and the box spring in this disgusting motel that made her feet black, that they just had sex on.
Let's face facts. It wasn't just the motel that made her feet black.
It was probably the 1 hour
That was a
photo.
lifetime of bad.
Yeah. In a lifetime of bad decisions. So they prop the mattress and the box spring up, and then at some point they get dressed, and she starts to ask the philosophical question, why are the birds doing this? To which he looks, pause,
He rods.
pause. I don't know. So then they decide to make a run for it, and they somehow stop at someone else's room, and those dumbasses let them in.
Yeah.
Like,
why?
If you're in the middle of a bird attack and someone knocks at the door, maybe
sorry, you're on your own.
Right.
Can you even open the door when you have a mattress propped
Right.
up against it? I'm not sure.
In Eric's defense, the dude does look just like Colton.
He does.
John, Joe, Billy Bob, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. Colton. We're just going to keep calling him.
It was
Colton
his real
Quagmire.
name is Colton.
Yeah.
His
Quagmire.
movie name was Tony.
Yeah.
He
Quagmire.
looks just like Quagmire.
Yeah. And you find out that guy's name is Ramses.
Oh my god, that's great. So they they jump into this room and they shut the door like, man, these birds are attacking. I don't know why. Yeah, neither do I. I'm Rod. I'm Ramsey.
Yeah.
This is Natalie. This is my girlfriend, Becky.
Yeah.
Okay. And straight up just like that, right?
Yep.
There's a reason for that later. We'll make fun of it later. But so
And they're like, oh, we were going to drive away, but I lost my car keys.
yeah.
You haven't been anywhere.
Did the bird take them?
All you did was went to the horrible bar and heard hanging out with my family,
and
then you got to the motel
and
you would have parked your
nasty feet.
You parked your car,
or not because your pants.
Or
still
you
on.
just rubbed
Your
each
pants
other's
are still
clothes.
on.
Yeah.
Your pants are still on. Where the fuck did you put your keys?
right?
But he acts like it's because of the birds that he can't find his keys.
He somehow lost his keys and his phone died.
Yeah. That was convenient.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
that
dead.
was that. It's dead. It's dead.
The phone to
dead.
the motel is dead.
It wasn't like we don't have
reception.
reception. It's dead.
Yeah,
So
There's no hope.
yeah.
we're gonna have to side note our own stupidity here. This idiot, whatever the fuck his name is, Alan Bag, whatever the fuck, the ball bag guy,
Yeah.
the guy that plays Rod, doesn't do it with a California accent. It just sounds like it should be. So
Yeah,
that's
everything
gonna be
so
it from
stupid that
now
comes
on.
out of his mouth.
Yeah, so that's just our little thing. But yeah, he's almost there because half of his faces are like that too. He's like, ugh. He's like Spicoli beating the shit out of a penguin. What the fuck is going on in this movie? So yeah, so he can't. But
he lost his car
if you
keys.
listen to after the phone is dead, First, she picks up the hotel phone, and he tries his cell phone at the same time.
Yeah,
like that.
I was
And
totally
they're
expecting to be
dead.
like the line's cut or
Yeah.
there's no signal.
Right.
No, oh, it's dead.
Yeah, like there's an
Battery's
eagle
dead.
out there with a knife. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah. Could have. Eagles made other strategic decisions.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
They fucking
I mean,
carpet
they
bombed
explode
gas
on
stations.
impact. So
Yeah.
They
you
do.
know, and that's not the only superpower they're
Yeah,
gonna
no, we're
have.
gonna get
Yeah.
there. We're
We're
gonna
gonna
get
get to that fun
So-
too.
So then, when they get there, and it's the way he says, "I can't find my keys."
Yeah.
It's like he's blaming the birds.
Right.
Like they
We were
somehow
getting ready to
took his
drive out of
keys.
here, but I can't find my car keys.
Right. Like somehow, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So somehow a bird took his keys.
So now they're with these two, and they're going to make a run for it because he's got a van. And so he's like, we need something to defend ourselves. So he goes and he grabs the hangers from inside this cheap
Hangers.
motel.
Let's
Fucking
arm ourselves. Let's get, and
hangers.
they're not even like straight wire hangers. They're like the partially cardboard hangers and partially wire. So, all right, they got some wire hangers. Fuck it.
Yeah.
They went mommy dearest on these birds,
Yeah.
right? So they run out.
Back to
And-
back
Yeah.
in a circle, so they're
and
all
then
facing out.
Just to show that they have a plan, they say, let's go back to back so they can't sneak up on us.
Yeah.
You mean the explosive birds that are screaming?
Right. Yeah.
How are they going to sneak up on you?
Right.
Now, one of these fucking things snuck up on anybody.
Yeah. Well, it did. Hold on.
Give it a second. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get there. So I guess the plan was sound. So and he goes like this, and they all go back to back inside the hotel room.
Yeah. They're practicing.
And then they practice it.
Yeah.
And then they go out the door, single file.
Right. And they sort of split up.
And nobody is back to back at all.
Yeah. They get to the
They
van.
start swinging at the. They're swinging at the bird.
They're swinging at the They're
Should
swinging
we-
at the bad
should we complain
copy
about-
and paste
Okay,
birds.
should we complain about the swinging at the birds or Becky and the fucking car keys? What's first?
Okay, first I want to complain that
I think the
Ramsey.
easy target is Becky and the car keys, but go ahead.
So Ramsey's swinging all over the place, including, and I guess
At his knees.
I guess James didn't tell them. Okay, later
Where the
on,
birds are gonna
Yeah,
when
they had
when
no idea where they were going to be.
when I cut and paste these, they're all going to be kind of up
Yeah.
in the air. So Ramsey's swinging like at his waist level or below.
They're
Yeah,
all
he's
over
swinging
the place.
way low,
yeah.
and the birds are nowhere near there.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I brought this up at work with my buddy Josh, who wanted us to do this, and I brought that up, and I said apparently the editing team didn't tell them where the birds are going to be, and he looked at me with a smirk on his face, and he said, "Editing team?"
Yeah.
Or I'm like, right, it's the one guy.
Or James Nguyen could have put a bird down there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you saw
He could've
that
solved that
you
problem.
saw that he swung down there. Just put a bird down. Like cut. All you have to do is copy
Yeah.
and paste that one from up there, drag it down, and put it there.
And this is the first shot where you really see the birds attacking someone, so the camera may move a little bit, right? And then you realize that it's. I'm trying to think of the best way to associate this for someone who hasn't seen this movie. But like, all right, you've got the camera is filming
God
these people.
awful? Is that the term you're looking
Yeah,
for?
yeah, that's spot on. But it's almost like if you put a Flapping Bird filter in front of your camera lens,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because
Flapping bird filter.
because there's these flapping birds, and when the camera moves, the birds move with it at the same.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how else to explain it. It's weird, but when you see it, you're like, "The fuck was that? Really?"
Yeah.
It's like they superimposed. It's like they superimposed the birds on the camera,
Right.
and not the shot. So the camera is moving along with the people, and the birds are moving along the same way as the camera, and these people are just swinging at nothing.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking weird.
And but there's one scene when they're outside of Rod and Natalie's room. One of the birds like dive bombs at their window and just goes.
Yeah, what happened to that explosive power
Yeah.
then?
That one didn't blow up.
Oh
It
yeah,
just-
that one ran out of gas.
Yeah. Right.
Just petered out. And just
So they get
so they get so yeah
they're at the
now,
van and Natalie fumbles with the keys and she can't get the
It's
key.
Becky.
Becky, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so, hey, get them right.
Yeah.
Becky apparently is an incompetent fucking idiot. She cannot even get a car door open.
Right. She can't get the van door open.
This van has already seen better days.
Yeah. Oh, its paint job is beat to hell.
Yeah.
And so they get in and Ramsey goes to drive and then they somehow switch for some reason. And then Ramsey pulls out an assault rifle.
No. Right before they pull up, Ramsey says, "Damn bird scratched me. Give me the gun."
Yeah.
And he pulls out an assault rifle.
Yeah.
We have jumped somehow from hangers
Yeah.
to assault rifles.
Yeah. And then they switch so that Rod can drive.
Yeah.
And he just leans out the window and randomly fires this assault rifle just into the air at random and doesn't hit shit.
Yeah, exactly. He shoots a semi-automatic weapon at a floating fucking eagle at damn near point blank range.
Yeah.
Nobody gets hurt.
Right. Like, he could be a stormtrooper. His aim is so bad.
Yeah. This actually happens in several scenes where they're like shooting into people.
Yeah.
And every fifth shot might hit a bird,
Right.
and no person
Right.
ever gets hit
Yeah.
at any point
It's
for
fucking
any
ridiculous.
reason.
Yeah.
In fact, they have no gun discipline at all, like zero.
No,
like
he's
they
sitting there
point
holding
weapons
the
at
thing with-
people, and they're waving them
He's
around
dri- I'm
people's
gonna get there, I'm
faces.
gonna get there.
Sorry,
He's driving. They drive off, and Ramsey's holding the assault rifle with the barrel pointing at his
face.
head. Yeah.
Which, you know what? This is about the point I'm at in this movie.
Yeah. But you can see as they're acting, I'm going to put acting in air quotes, that what they would have had to do is take the gun and like, you can't see this, but I've got finger guns up, and they would just have to go like and pretend there's recoil to the gun, and then later in they went and added the
Yeah.
and so they're just
And
like,
that's literally what they added in.
Yeah.
Oh,
because you can
The
see
assault
them.
rifle is the sound of my son's toy rifle. That
it is, and the muzzle fire is almost like a jism splash or something.
Yeah.
It's really terrible.
And it's added afterwards, just
my
like
gun came on that eagle.
like the explosions and the
Yes.
eagles, but you know that the actors had to do the fake recoil thing, and that's how they knew to go.
So for those of you that actually do listen to this podcast, you know what? I always joke around that I'm going to edit it and post. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they actually
Holy
did.
shit!
Yeah, they actually did. So they drive around randomly firing this assault rifle, and they come to these, I guess some cars.
There's some
on the
dead
side of the road.
people on the side of the road. Let's go check it out.
Right, let's go try to save them. Or he says something like that. Look, there's those dead people. Let's
There's
see if
dead people. Let's check
so
it out.
This is probably almost an hour into the movie, and it's the first person that's died from one of the birds.
Right.
And you don't actually see it. They've just
No,
already died.
and they're in their cars with their throats slit or their cheeks like cut up.
Yeah.
In their car. They're
Yeah.
not outside.
No.
They're sitting
In the car.
in the car with the windows down.
Yeah.
So that Rod or Ramsey can put their head in.
Yeah, and look. Oh, they're dead. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they do the, again, slow pan on the body, right?
Yeah.
And this is when we get to the Oscar Award nominated member of this crew, the little girl under the truck.
Right.
She is hands
Oh,
down the
the only
best
one that can
actress
act,
in this
yeah.
fucking movie. She's under the 4x4, whatever the fuck it is, right?
Yeah.
And Rod bends down there because he hears her crying, and he says, "Come on, honey, come out." As he's kind of lazily pointing the muzzle of his fucking handgun
Right.
at her face, like, "Oh yeah, sure,
Yeah.
And, you know,
Sure,
and-
strange man with a gun. I'm right
yeah,
there.
Yeah. He gets her to come out from under the car. Well, no, not at first. He tries to coax her out with a gun in her face.
Yeah.
Which is always going to go well. She does the whole amazing acting part of this movie where she talks about the birds killed my family, you know, sob, sob, cry, cry. And that's the best acting in this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And it cuts over to Ramsey, and he's checking out the other people.
Yep. And he finds the
And
other
then-
kid.
Well, he starts to yell, "The birds are coming back. Let's go." And then Rod's like, "Come on, come on, come on." And then he hears the kid banging on the trunk. So apparently the dead dude outside the trunk threw his kid in the trunk, which is probably the smartest move in this entire movie.
Right.
The bird can't get you in the trunk, chuck you in there. Hope you don't die of thirst or starvation. Bye. Rod pops the trunk, grabs him. Literally, come on, boy.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of deliverance shit's going to happen later, but he's dragging this kid away. Rod does another, "Come on, honey," and then, like, drags this girl out by her wrist.
Yeah.
It's filmed where it's supposed to look like he's trying to help her out, but he's literally, like, fucking just dragging this kid out like he's going to sell her on a market somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. And they haul ass into this van,
Yep.
chuck the kids in the van, and then they take off. Popping at birds the whole time.
Yes.
With their shitty assault rifles.
Right.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, here. This is as they're going, right? I was like, yeah, they finally hit a bird. And I'm like, I think I did more damage paintballing one weekend.
Yeah.
Because they finally hit this fucking bird. And
Right.
you see this little...
Yeah.
And the bird falls out of the
right. The cut and paste bird just goes.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
the noise it makes.
You hear kind of a...
Yeah. It literally looks like someone threw a wet napkin in a wall.
Right.
That's what it sounds like. And,
right. And so the kids are in there, and Natalie's trying to, hey, it'll be okay. I've got a Band-Aid for you. And then they end up playing PSP together, and everything seems fine. They get over the trauma of their dead parents relatively easily, so it seems.
Now, something I seriously want to point out about this entire scene, and multiple scenes later on, but that initial scene, because they are like, on the side of the road doing whatever, when they're getting in the van and they're shooting the guns in the air and whatever, right? You have all these cars going back and forth on the highway, right? You know goddamn well none of those people are extras.
Right, right.
So how many calls did the local police get? Like, hey, these assholes, like, fucking on the side of the road with a gun.
But no one seems to, in the middle of this bird attack, no one's driving fast. None of the other cars they see are freaking
erratic.
out. No one else seems to notice that they're being attacked by birds, except Rod, Natalie, Ramsey, and Becky.
Because, as John said, they weren't extras.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just random
or the
people
birds
going
only
by.
have it out for our heroes.
Right. So they get to a convenience store where the guy's had his eyes gouged out.
Who are actually trying to be green, by the way. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's that message.
Somehow this guy ends up underneath his counter of the convenience store with his eyes gouged out. So the birds must have gotten in and gotten to him.
Well, they came in for some Funyuns and
they get some stuff.
I like Funyuns.
They get
I just ruined Funyuns for you too.
They get like a case of water and they get some stuff, and then, as you would do in a bird attack, they have a picnic. In the open.
Yeah. They actually
out
walk
in the open,
far
no
away
less.
from the protection of their van.
Right.
Out in the complete open where all of the eagles can possibly come get them.
Right. Except what's funny is there's a couple of actual real birds in that scene when they're having the picnic. Fly overhead or are walking on the sand. Real birds.
Oh, I missed them.
And none of the actors respond like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere
you would have thought there would be some PTSD or something.
Yeah.
At least pop a pigeon in the face or something.
It may not have been in this scene, but somewhere soon the vultures are joining the eagles in the attack.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly where it happened, but
there's a second set of
additional birds.
Yeah. And then so they have the picnic. They meet the doctor guy, who's wearing a surgical mask, but otherwise he's got a tweed jacket on, so he's a professor.
Yeah. He's got the tweed jacket on, so he's smart.
Yeah.
He's wearing a dust mask.
Right. It's not even a surgical mask. It's like
a sawdust mask. Right. It's what I wear when I cut wood in my garage.
It's the same mask Heather wears when she spray paints her cups.
Right.
Fucking idiot. Standing on a bridge out in the middle of this picnic area. And stay away from the birds. They've got bird flu.
Yeah.
Wait, what? He's pointing at a bunch of dead birds. Right?
Yeah.
So these specific dead birds, he knows have dead bird flu. Holy shit. Have bird flu, but he says have the bird flu virus.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's smart, because he calls it by a proper name. And then they convince him, come back up to the tables and talk to us.
After he tells them don't come any closer, and they still do.
Yeah. So, again, good job, Rod.
Right.
And we already know she don't got a brain in her fucking head.
Right.
So, they convince this asshole to come up there, and they go, hey, this guy's a doctor.
See the coat? Yeah.
Yes.
Look, he's wearing a tweed blazer. He's got to be smart.
See the coat and the mask?
Yeah.
Elbow pads.
Right.
Elbow patches.
Yeah.
Go. And this guy proceeds to... This is the part where I started to get mad.
Yeah.
Because then, again...
now I'm getting lectured by this crappy
I've been
movie.
enjoying this shitty movie, and all these other little things have gone over my head, which is why I've been saying, in hindsight, when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, you sons of bitches. It's this point. This guy goes on a 4-minute fucking diatribe about global warming and about the real monsters are people and humans. And
he's not scared of the birds. He's scared of the human species.
Yeah. He says, here, my favorite thing is, let's see, blah, 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 blah. He's a doctor who starts preaching about how fucked up we all are, and we need to take better care of the planet. He says that the birds that are attacking are possibly doing so because of how fucked up we are. He can't say it's because of global warming, but it's definitely global warming. And then he also has great knowledge of prehistoric birds attacking. Remember? And he just throws that shit out there, too. and reminds everybody that humans need to stop playing cowboy with nature. And it says, well, nice meeting you.
Except he then says that he's tested their blood or something.
Yeah.
And he goes, I have my truck and trailer up here. So unless you've got the hybrid plug-in truck and trailer like Rod has his plug-in Mustang, you're part of the problem.
You know what Rod's plug-in
asshole.
Mustang is the gas pump.
Yeah.
Plugs into the back of that car.
Right. So unless Dr. Sawdust Mask has a hybrid truck and trailer, like, you are equally part of the problem.
Yeah.
And then he
That's
says,
how I was going to end my whole fucking rant. Go ahead.
and then he says he's an orthologist.
Yeah.
When he meant ornithologist, which
Yeah,
studies
or-
birds.
Yeah,
What's
an
an
orthologist?
orthologist? Oh my God.
I don't know.
Captain Google, hurry up.
All right.
Well, ortho is bones, right?
Yeah, I would think
if you
so, yeah.
Study of bones.
Apparently he was fucking a bird.
Right.
Maybe he is an orthologist. He was studying the
But
dead.
then from there, we
dead
immediately
bird
cut
bones.
over to
Oh, but he's also armed. So he's like, just in case one of these birds,
birds that I'm not afraid of.
And then he takes the gun out and it's like upside down, and he pulls
even,
it out.
even
upside down.
Google
Yeah,
knows. Do you see this? If you Google ornithology, it says, "Do you mean ornithology?"
So then
Apparently, there was no Google in 2010.
they cut to in the van again, and Rod's like, Ramsey, you're a really good shot. How'd you become such a good shot? He's like, oh, I was in the Marines. I was over in Iraq, or blah blah blah, blah whatever. And he's like,
What?
But I left the Marines. Go ahead.
Sorry. Ironically, orthology is the study of the right use of words and language. I shit you not.
You know what? Can we pretend that they did that on purpose?
Yes,
Okay.
let's do that.
Wow.
That
Holy
would have
fuck.
been funny.
Oh my God, that's perfect. So yeah, Ramsey goes on his little spiel. Everyone in this movie has got a spiel now.
Yeah.
Ramsey goes on a spiel about how he was in the Marines, but he was tired of all the killing, and then he says, "Why can't we just give peace a chance?" Yeah. All right, listen. I have no problem with you having a movement or a message. Can you pick a message?
Right.
And stick on it. It's like they picked an entire side of messages and said, cram every one of them into this movie and then spit them at people. But for the first 45 minutes, I was hiding behind this really shitty movie.
Yeah.
And then they just beat the shit out of you with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of shit,
I can't be talked down to and preached to by crap movies. Like,
No.
it's just too much.
no. Because it's getting really bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. We missed a funny part. I think it's in the picnic. Is it in the picnic or is it later? Becky goes to take a dump.
That's what I was about to say.
Okay, sorry.
I said, speaking of shit.
Yeah. All right.
He didn't catch my subtle segue into that.
I thought we'd skipped it.
Speaking of taking a shit.
Yeah.
Right after Ramsey does this whole spiel about, giving
Marine.
peace a chance.
Yeah.
They pull over so Becky can take a shit.
Yeah.
And they literally say, Becky's taking a shit.
Yeah. So
Don't worry, Natalie's watching her back.
Yeah. And so they walk out, the two girls walk out there, and Becky's got the roll of toilet paper in her hand. And she starts the squat.
Literally squats. And that's
Literally
all it
starts
takes.
she doesn't even, she starts to, put her hands near her pants and squats down. And the cut and paste eagle flies by.
I can't do a good eagle.
And
I can't hit that note.
And she falls over backwards, and her throat is slit.
There you go.
Sorry, I can't do it
I can't
either.
hit that high a note.
And her throat is slit.
This thing flies in there, and she's like, and she hits the ground, and Natalie runs over.
Yeah.
Throat slit. She runs back screaming. Mind you, they literally just started this scene with Becky's taking a shit. Don't worry, Natalie's got her back. Natalie don't got nobody's back in this goddamn movie. Natalie's dumb as a box of rocks.
That bird came out of nowhere.
It
It was
every
it
other
made me
bird in
laugh.
this movie. You hear them coming,
right?
And you're like, "Oh, they're coming!" You see them,
Yeah.
like they're a mile away, but they come in like packs.
Yeah.
This one lone bird was apparently he does not like Dookie.
Yeah.
It was a missed opportunity because the bird should have dive bombed and exploded and blew shit all over Natalie.
Right.
That would have been the way to
That would have been
recover
better.
that
This is a
scene.
combination of bird shit and human
Yep.
shit everywhere. Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Oh. So Natalie goes running back, and Becky's dead. So idiot Marine runs down there and sees the body. screams, shoots a couple of birds out of the sky, runs back to the van, and then they cut to action.
Right.
They get to the inside of the van where they're driving for a second, or they're sitting in the van for a second. I forget if it's moving or not. It's not important. But there's a full about second to a second and a half of the camera pointed in the van at Ramsey and Rod looking at him, and Ramsey is looking down, and then he smacks the dashboard and goes, "The bird killed Becky. Or the eagle killed Becky."
Yeah. And he's trying to cry, but he can't. So he's just like, oh, oh, and he's like kind of holding his eyes closed. Oh, the bird killed Becky, but he can't generate like any actual emotion.
Yeah, like he's like fake crying when I tried to apologize to my parents for something I wasn't sorry for when I was 6.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah.
This is where I stopped writing my notes. I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to ad-lib, so I'm going to go off of what you got to say.
And then they drive up and they find this double-decker bus that the birds are attacking. and Rod doesn't want to go save them because the people, it's sort of too late, it's too dangerous, and he goes, "The eagles killed Becky. We got to go help them."
I thought all 4 of them were when they meet the dude in the trees, or is it no? It's just Rod.
That hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay.
Because
I want to do another side note. Sorry, caveat back to one of the couple of times they stopped for food at a store or whatever, and that is like, get some candy because Tony, the little kid or whatever the fuck his name is, the little dude, is asleep. After he immediately after he says, "I'm hungry too," he's like asleep. Knocked the fuck out. Right. So apparently he's narcoleptic. So he passes the fuck out, and when they go in the store, they get him whatever. But right as they walk into or they're leaving the van,
the second store.
Yeah, when they leave the van to go to the store, Ramsey opens the door and goes, "Becky, watch Tony for us," and shuts the door. Like you don't see her.
Yeah, she wasn't in the van.
From the time she fucks around with the car keys until the time she actually gets like her throat cut shitting, you really don't physically see her. You hear her, or you hear of her. So
she's in the picnic scene, but she's not in the scene
briefly,
where they go into the first convenience store. She's not in there. Then she dies taking a shit.
Yeah.
And so they go to the second convenience store,
which explains a lot. And
gas is $100 a gallon. but he says, "Whatever, I'm a tech millionaire. Here's my credit card."
Yeah. The guy charges him $100 a gallon.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Whatever."
So Ramsey's upset that Becky dies. So they go to they find the double-decker bus that's getting attacked by the birds, and it's either Rod or Natalie doesn't want to go save them because it's dangerous. But Ramsey's pissed off and wants revenge on these eagles. Yeah. So he goes out, and they're firing at the bus. The birds are in front of the bus. So there's van, birds, bus. They're aiming at the bus and firing assault rifle bullets at this bus.
With like half a dozen people in it.
Yeah. And nobody...
Again, nobody gets hurt.
Even the birds.
They barely hit the fucking bird.
Right.
Yeah. They hit like one bird the whole time.
And then Ramsey goes on the bus, gets
all super tactical on the bus.
Yeah.
He's
like,
"Come on!"
The people,
he Rambos that bus.
Yeah, people on the bus have some kind of Stockholm syndrome that they don't want to go.
Yes.
They don't want to go.
We're ornithologists,
right?
Honestly, though, that dude is in there like waving the gun around everywhere. Yeah. I'm not sure I'd want to go either.
Yeah,
I'm going to go down that stairs, bro. But you need to put that gun up in the air just for like 60 seconds. Can I get you to do that before I go down the steps?
I'll take my chances with these birds. And then, so as he is starting to take the people back to the van, something happens. Like, I don't know if these birds shit on them.
No, it's acid.
Or some kind of acid
But
attack.
It's acid.
Did they spit it up or shit it?
Oh, I'm assuming they shit it. I actually don't have any idea.
These birds shit acid.
Yeah.
But it's like their body weight
right.
in acid.
Right, and it's orange.
All at once.
Orangey yellow liquid.
An orange yellow, and all at once. So it's a concentrated effort. It's coordinated.
Right.
It's a coordinated effort. So the bird general is on the one end, and now, or cheep cheep, or whatever.
Right.
And and they all go at once. And holy now, I don't know.
It's gallons of liquid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand how acid works, but the amount of shit that they get hit with compared to the amount of injuries on said bodies after they conveniently slowly fall to the floor.
Yeah. They have really nasty cheek wounds, but that's about it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. They die slowly, but not in the like slowly burning from acid dying. They die like they're slowly letting themselves down to the ground,
like slowly falling asleep on the couch after Thanksgiving
while watching this movie.
Right.
Apparently, these birds shit out tryptophan.
Yeah.
Acidic tryptophan.
I've never seen it before. I've never actually seen it physically, so apparently it's orange.
Here's the thing. At no time does it occur to any of these people, why don't we just go to my house?
The birds can't get in there.
Right.
Board up a window. They're driving all over. We're going to get to that in a second.
Right. They drive all
They're not
over.
just driving all over. They have a fucking picnic, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And then they drive some more.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah,
they're literally trying to stay in the birds' path.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to see what superpowers the birds had.
Right.
Because acid shit out of the cochlea was not something that they knew could happen.
Right.
Right before those birds came out flying out, I heard the 90s X-Men theme.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Literally, holy shit. So, alright, so moving on. Now we go to...
So then,
where are we at?
Now we're down to Natalie, Rod, and the two kids.
Again. Oh, no, not again.
They go to... they pull over for some reason. I don't know if they pull over at this other guy's truck. Or what happens. They end up on the side of the road, and some guy tries to rob them. Or some guy robs them.
Yeah, they're doing the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the cowboy hat. When Rod buys the $100 a gallon gas, he doesn't end up pumping very much of it because the Eagles show back up.
Right.
At no point did he fill up a container full of gas.
Yeah,
and
he's
put
got
it in the
maybe
back
like
of the van.
$25 worth.
Right. So this cowboy pulls a gun on them, makes them get out, opens the back of the van, gives them the gas.
Put the gas down on the ground, right? So he puts the gas and the gun down on the ground.
Yep.
Back away slowly.
Yep. And then he gets attacked by an eagle.
Attacked?
It flies by him.
It flies by him, much like Becky in the holy shit.
Yep.
Cuts his throat.
Cuts his throat. He saunders off and falls in a ditch, dead.
Yeah, looking like something out of an old West movie.
Yeah. And instead of walking 2 feet and grabbing the gas can and a new gun, Rod just gets back in the car.
Yeah, right, yeah. That's why I was like, what the fuck?
Right. Like, why didn't you take the gas and the gun?
Flip side of this, I'm starting to think that these Eagles they're practicing their possession over these people. Like, nope, they're ours. They're killing everybody that comes in contact with Rod and Natalie.
Yeah.
That's it.
But not Rod and Natalie.
Yeah. They're killing everybody else.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to think they're like, no.
Honestly, the Eagles are mad about gas in the first place, so it's probably a good move not to take it.
Touche.
Maybe.
Touche.
Maybe. So they keep driving. They end up somewhere in a forest, and they decide they need clean water, even though 30 minutes ago they took a case of water.
Yeah.
How much water do these people drink?
They decide they need creek water now.
Yeah.
So they get out, and
It's clean. It's a flowing creek, so it's clean.
Yeah.
High nature.
They go down to the stream, and they find weird forest man / homeless guy who lives in a treehouse.
And you get another diatribe, but it's not 5 minutes
That's
this time.
my house. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So,
close.
And he talks about
3-minute diatribe.
he talks about the grub worms and the things and the redwood trees and the whatever.
How wonderful the redwoods are. So now we're on redwoods.
I'm not even worried about the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. They won't attack me here. I worry about whatever the fuck is hurting these trees. So now I'm saving these trees.
Right.
So now we're saving trees.
Yep.
Yes.
We're
And
saving
there's
the Arctic.
there's
We're
some
saving the birds.
invasive Chinese parasitic worm or something
Yeah.
that's
Some
killing the
shit,
trees.
yeah.
Right. Because the world's getting hotter, this thing can flourish now. Yeah. And
so
then
this dude is like just preaching.
But then we hear a mountain lion.
Yeah.
And so everybody's got to run.
Yeah.
And then,
Run.
I don't know why, don't know how it starts, the forest catches on fire.
Inexplicably.
Right.
Because
dude.
Well, no,
It's hot.
no. Yeah, they did establish that there were forest fires earlier, wildfires.
Yeah,
Apparently
they
they
were
just
setting you up
randomly-
for that moment.
Is that right?
They were
That was
setting
They
you up.
randomly showed up
Foreshadowing in the
this-
beginning.
yeah.
Of the, yeah.
Yeah. They just
So-
happen from heat, you know.
Okay.
If it gets like 85 out and the leaves rub together the wrong way,
Spontaneous combustion
the
and
forest
fuck it.
is going up.
Meanwhile, I can't get my goddamn fire pit to work
Right.
with wood that's pre-treated to burn and lighter fluid.
And the effects of the forest fire are equally as bad as the explosions
Oh my
earlier
God, yeah.
and the birds and everything else. It's equally
Fire
as bad.
superimposed onto a tree.
Yeah,
Good news is no trees were harmed in the filming of this movie.
right.
Better news is that fucking tree hugging hippie burned to death.
Yeah.
Best part of the movie, that kid, fucking Tony, little kid Tony, says, "Are you a tree hugger?"
Yeah. I guess you can say I am.
I guess you can say I am. Doesn't take any offense to it at all. It's like, yes, I
No,
am.
he had the long hair with the ponytail.
Oh, yeah,
too.
he was, yeah.
He was ready for
Flannel.
it.
Tony was 3 seconds away from being Cartman. Just,
Yeah.
goddamn tree hugging hippies.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So then they get back in the van. They drive away. They make it to the beach and some kind of lighthouse where they find the car of Quagmire and Quagmire's girlfriend in her Imagine Peace shirt has
And they're
been
dead.
and they're dead
Yeah.
from the Eagles.
Yeah.
They get a little bit farther. They run out of gas.
Which was convenient because I was wondering what the hell had happened to them for a while there. I
Yeah.
was like, you just don't see them again? Okay.
They run out of gas. So they're stuck. They don't have any food. And Rod decides now's a good time to go fishing. So he opens up the back of the van, and there's a fishing pole.
Hey, look, a fishing
Yeah.
pole.
Hey, look, a fishing pole. Hey, look, a stove. Oh, hi. All he needed was, oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah.
I had an oh hi Mark moment because apparently that was for the bait. Because
Yeah.
what the fuck was he fishing with?
Right.
Yeah, I've been fishing. There's a few things I do. I took my kids fishing plenty of times.
Yeah.
I had to go to the store and get bait.
Right.
Whatever, fine. Okay, maybe he had some fake lures on there. Sure.
Yeah.
He goes off to the rock to go fish.
And he
And
sends
they
her
go
to go
up to the
get
other side.
seaweed. You go get seaweed.
Yeah.
Like,
And damn, is she excited when she comes back with it.
She's
Yeah.
very excited about
Oh,
that
look
seaweed.
at the seaweed. Like, what
Look
a
how
nice little
great this
container of
is.
seaweed I have here.
and then he has a fish, and he doesn't clean the fish.
At all.
He puts it in a pot of boiling water.
It's also not enough food for 4 people.
No, it's
in
not.
any stretch, even with the
No.
seaweed
But
add-ons.
on the little camp stove is a pan of water that he puts the fish in.
Yeah.
He doesn't clean it. He doesn't fillet it. He just puts it in the water. And then they go to serve it to the kids who want Happy Meals. Like, look, you spoiled assholes.
Yeah.
With end times here.
Have you not seen all
Right.
the fucking birds?
Right.
It's because you eat chicken nuggets and that's their cousins, you assholes.
Yeah. So then the birds...
I'm actually shocked that wasn't a line in the movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The birds come back. They run to the van. And then this is the part that pisses me off the most because it's almost over.
Oh, this is it?
They're sort of waiting out what they run out of bullets. It looks like it's the end. One of the birds kamikazes into the window, the car windshield. It doesn't blow up.
Doesn't blow up.
It just cracks and the bird stays on the thing. And then looks like it's going to be lost. And suddenly, for no good reason, the birds just all fly off into the horizon.
because they've adopted the woodsman mindset or something, and they're fishing.
And the birds have telepathically
yeah,
figured out.
the
that
birds
these
are
people
like,
okay.
oh, they got it. These 2 people
They
got
learned
it.
their
Yeah.
message.
The only 2 people we were
Right.
interested in teaching a lesson finally
They
got
learned
it.
Right.
So this is going to save everything. So this is the only reason we attacked.
And so
And
the
they fly
birds
off.
they fly off, and they get out of the van.
Mind you, people who have been attacked by birds for only a third of the movie, but a third of the movie.
Yeah.
The whole point of the fucking movie is they're being attacked by birds.
Right.
They immediately get out of the goddamn car.
Right.
And watch the birds.
Right.
Oh, Paul, please tell us how long it took.
So they walk down to the beach as the birds are flying off into the sunset and the horizon. They walk down to the beach and they stand there, and it's not a freeze frame. Like, it's still going. the credits run,
and the birds don't get any smaller.
and the birds don't
They're
get any
flying
smaller,
away.
and they're just standing there, and it's got to be 3 minutes or something like that. Like the credits roll,
It's
and
easily 3 minutes.
and she before the credits, she turns to him and she goes, "Why do you think they stopped attacking?" And he goes, "Pause. I don't know." And you're like, "No,
that is this whole
bullshit."
fucking movie.
You're
That
like,
is this whole fucking
"Bullshit.
movie.
That's bullshit." They just fly away for no good reason, and they stand there. And I thought it was a freeze frame until she turns to one of the kids, and I'm like, "Oh, it's still going."
Yeah. So
Like,
no,
they're
she
just
moved.
standing there.
She moved.
Yeah,
There's like the birds are in 2 formations too,
Yep.
and the left side, like a couple birds are flapping their wings every now and then. If you look at the right side, they're like much more erratic birds.
Well,
like
throughout
going
the
all at
movie,
it.
you'll have erratic flapping, and then
Yeah.
you have the one that's just hanging there.
yeah.
Like apparently,
They both can't move at the same time.
Yeah.
Like that would have been too much for
that
them.
dude is the one who
Or
like,
the-
he's telekinesis. You know, he's just hovering.
Yeah.
He caught the wind.
Yeah.
He's got the updraft from the other birds. He's just hanging there.
Like
They do that throughout the fucking movie.
those old Dells only so many things can move on the screen at one time. So you can flap, but you have to coast.
One more bird flaps, we're gonna get the blue
That's
screen
right,
of death.
that's right.
It's not good.
This thing's gonna get super pixelated. It won't look good.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
oh, is
and there's,
that what's going to do it?
Yeah.
The pixelation?
Yeah.
and there's no reason why the birds just quit. They just
No.
fly away, and I'm like, "This is bullshit." Now I'm
Yeah.
mad.
No. Yeah. So see, I got mad once I realized that this movie was trying to preach to me.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said, I can't have a shitty movie try to preach to me.
Right.
But then the fact that the subject matter that this thing was trying to preach to me was saving the earth and doing this and doing that, whatever. 3/4 of your hour and a half runtime, where I had it written down
93 minutes.
93 minutes runtime, was driving around killing the goddamn environment.
Right.
You know what? If you look up pretentious cocksuckerism in a dictionary,
Pretentious cocksuckerism. Jesus.
that's this fucking movie. You're gonna see this movie just like Birdemic, shock and terror. Holy fuck!
Yeah.
I'm like, but when I got to the end of this, I was like, I went into this with this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I stopped going. I am mad
Yeah.
now. I can't wait to destroy this fucking
Yeah.
movie. And then I went back and watched it, and then I was like, how did I miss all this shit
Yeah.
in the first place? So yeah. So again, you motherfuckers, you dare. Oh, now I'm like that 16-year-old talking to Congress.
Right.
How dare you?
Yeah.
You expect us to
Right.
fucking assholes preaching about fucking saving the earth. You're driving a goddamn Mustang and a beat up minivan around the fucking earth.
Yeah.
For 45 fucking minutes, and you could have stayed in your house.
Right.
Oh my god. Any closing thoughts? I think I pretty much summed it up.
Yep.
What do you think, Eric? Got anything?
I'm still mad at you for making me do this. Just like the room. But hopefully we'll do it again.
I want to tell you both that
In
I
a
love
month.
you. Now we'll wait. Yeah,
I'm
about-
also not
about
going to
2
respond
months.
when you text me about it in a month. When
The
we're
next one's going to be
watching.
much more fun.
I don't know what the hell we're
The
going to watch.
pain of this has
next.
to recede a little.
Yeah, we're going to skip over Thanksgiving. We're going to work into our holidays and then, or into the Christmas holidays. I want to do the 77 Star Wars holiday special.
No, so that'll actually
That'll
be
be fun.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that'll be
actually
fun.
mad about
Yeah.
that one.
I got to ease the pain on this one a little bit. Thanks, Josh.
I mean, this is
you
probably
better listen to this fucking episode. I swear
legitimately the Room was a bad movie. This was the worst movie I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
life.
I agree.
to God. Oh, easily.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not
So stay tuned when What If Geeks reviews Birdemic 2.
including all YouTube videos I've watched in the history of my life, whether they're 2 minutes long or not. This was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad. It's bad on so many levels that it's like bad acting, it's bad screenwriting, it's a bad plot, it's bad CGI, it's bad messaging. Everything about it is terrible.
Yeah.
And then everybody involved with it thought it's a good idea to come back for 2.
Right.
Because same director, same 2 actors.
Made a sequel. And the guy in the woods, he's also in the sequel.
Oh my god.
I can't imagine.
You know I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to have to.
I'm going to...
Don't make
Come on, Eric.
Don't make this an assignment.
Yeah.
All right, it won't be an
No.
assignment, but I'm
No.
going to watch it. Maybe Paul and I will do it for fun. We'll just have it when it's a Paul and John day. We'll
Yeah.
beat up Birdemic too. So hopefully by this point, one of you is listening.
Right.
Oh my god, I'm so
How long
sorry.
did we go on this movie? What's the total runtime?
An hour and 45 minutes.
Oh wow, that's longer than the actual movie was. The actual movie
The movie was an hour 33.
Yeah.
Can you edit out 12 minutes?
No,
Probably the beginning scene where we're driving. You
Right,
can just
yeah.
take that out.
Holy shit! Yeah. Oh my god. All right. So anyway, I hope somebody's fucking listening to this, and I hope you have at least. God, I'm gonna have to pay for people's therapy bills. Watch Birdemic and then come back and listen to this because it's fun.
Don't watch it.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, don't watch it for free. You can find it for free on
Amazon Prime.
Amazon
It is
Prime.
free on Amazon Prime, and
Do not give them any fucking money.
So is the riff track, which you
Yes.
might be better just watching the riff track
Watch
from
the riff
the
track
get-go.
and then come back and listen to us. I had a lot of fun.
or watch
doing
the 20-minute Everything Wrong with Birdemic in 20 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you
It's
go.
on
And
YouTube.
then come back and listen to us.
Yeah.
Again, I know this was extremely, excruciatingly painful, but I thank both of you for doing this with me. Because this is one of my favorite things to do. I'm not going to stop doing this to you guys. So, thank God. One day I will find the movie that breaks this podcast, but thank God this wasn't it. I really thought it was going to be. That's it. Just hit us up. Let us know if you're the one person that actually liked this movie, please fucking tell me.
Yeah,
There is no one person that
Please tell
likes
me.
this movie. They don't exist.
not even
my
James Nguyen's dad
Yeah,
or mom.
nobody.
I'm not even sure James Nguyen liked this movie.
Yeah.
So hit us up. Let us know what you think. Whatifgeeks.com. Whatifgeeks@gmail.com. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. God, this movie kicked my ass. Birdemic. Shock and terror. Thank you very much. Good night, Tony.
Good night, James Nguyen.
What? Good night, Tony. The other Tony from
Yeah, that's
Birdemic.
Tony.